back for.
Okay, well, then that's good, because this is important. I mean, this is stuff that's important.
Yes. So again, I do apologize for that. So we're gonna go back to understanding what we as an employer needs to do for the federal. Okay, so I think we left off here. So this is how we calculate for federal income tax withholdings, okay? But we do not stop there. We need to also calculate for the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, which is known as FICA. And FICA is consisting of OASDI, which is Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance, okay? So this is also known as Social Security. And then we have hospital insurance, which is also known as Medicare. These are very important that when you, as an employee, that you need to contribute to society because, again, when you work, you're contributing to ultimately your retirement, which is your Social Security, and you're also covering yourself with your Medicare. And this is the most recent percentages. So 6.2 is going to be for your Social Security, and the maximum that you can claim is $137,700 for your hospital insurance or your Medicare. Okay, you can only claim up to 1.45%, and there is actually no limit. So you can work as long as you want and contribute to your Medicare for as long as you want. Okay, because there is no cap or no limit to it. However, for Social Security, once you've reached your maximum of $137,000, that is it. You cannot claim anymore. Now, this is based on an estimate that this $137,000 should be enough to pay you every month. That this money would last you for the remaining years of your life. Okay, so again, with the assumption that Americans are living. This is really confusing because they actually changed the number of when you can claim your Social Security. I think they upped it to 67, if I'm not mistaken. It's 67 is when you can actually claim it now. It used to be 65, and I think it used to be 66 like 2 years ago. But they keep upping it because they have the assumption that Americans are living longer. But, I mean, I don't even think that's even true because we also know that there is a high death rate lately that people don't even make it to their hundreds. People make it barely past their 80s even. So I don't know why this number is based upon that, but apparently it's assuming that you're going to live for the next 30 years, which I don't think is true. So this 137,000 is supposed to cover for all of that. But if you're working for a company, you will never reach that unless you're a billionaire. Okay? Unless you're making $100,000, you will never reach this 137,000. I can tell you that. Okay, and again, so going back to our example for Elle, she made $15.25 an hour and worked for 45 hours. Now, this doesn't matter if it's weekly or anything like that. It's just based on her paycheck. So this is based on her total earnings that she done. No, you don't need to do any deductions or anything like that. It's based on what she's earned in total. So we take the $686.25 and we're going to multiply it by 6.2%. I'm sorry, I keep saying 6.25. 6.2%, which gives you a grand total of $42.55. Same thing with our Medicare. We're going to take that same amount and we're going to multiply by 1.45% to give us a $9.95. So she's contributing this to her society. Okay, so here again, this is how we journalize the salary and wages and payroll taxes. Okay, so here we're going to debit salaries and wages expense for the full amount of $686.25. Then we're going to slowly take our deductions. So things that are going to be taken out of the paycheck. So the first one we see is federal income tax withholding, which we calculated for $49. Then we're going to take out the Social Security and we're going to take out the Medicare, which we've already solved in the previous section. And here, then after you've done that, then you're going to get your total amount of how much of the check she's actually receiving. So this is going to be your net pay. Is going to be your $500. This is what you're going to receive. But that's $100 out of your paycheck. And that's a lot of money. Okay? Okay? So once we've solved for our employee, next is we're going to solve for our employer. We need to calculate the taxes that we have to pay for having L as an employee. So in this case, when we're dealing with, the very first thing that we need to cover is going to be the Federal Income Contribution, the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, okay? Where we have to match 100% for how much the employee puts in is how much we're going to be putting in. So again, we need to match it 100% because it's our duty to provide for our employees, right? So again, the federal for this one is still going to be the same amount, which is going to be 6.2 plus our Medicare, which is 1.45%, which we get a grand total of 7.65%. So this is total FICA. This is including both parts, Social Security and Medicare. And this is how much that we're going to pay for having L as an employee. So again, you calculate them separately. So $42.55 for the Social Security. And then we also have $9.95 for the Medicare, which in grand total is going to be $52.50, which is how much we're going to pay into for having L as an employee. Okay? So again, FICA is covered. Now there are other things and other factors that we have to also pay in for having her as an employee. We also have to put into the federal unemployment tax. And if, depending on what state that you live in, you may also have to pay state unemployment tax. Okay? So for this class, it just depends on how much you owe, and it also is dependent on how many employees you have. So it can be anywhere for federal, it can be anywhere from 0.5% to 6%. For state, if you are new, it's automatically 3% in the state of Nevada. Okay, state of Nevada, the state unemployment is going to be called a state unemployment insurance. Other place calls it as state unemployment tax. So it just depends on what state that you're in. But in the state of Nevada, it is SUI. And that one could be anywhere from, I believe it's where's my numbers? It can be anywhere from 0.25 to 5.4%. But again, for most new companies, you're going to start off with 3%, and you can collect up to $31,000. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, both of these are going to have different forms with them. I'm not going to require you to know them, but it is good to know them because when we file our federal unemployment tax or state, depending on what it is, right? For federal, you need to file your tax form of 940. Where if you're doing your state one, I don't know what that actual form is, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it on the IRS.gov site for that. But for new businesses, it's going to be 3%. So how we calculate this is going to be also based on the same amount of her wages. So for example, we're going to use L again. She claimed, let me see if we know. Okay. So again, for L, she claimed $686, you're going to, for this class, I want you to understand that we're only going to be using for FUTA is going to be 6% and SUTA is going to be 3%. Okay? Just because, again, it depends on how many employees you have and how much money you owe will determine what percentage you are. But in this case, we don't know because we're not a real company right now. This is just learning the concept. I'm gonna say I owe a lot and I have a lot of employees, so I'm gonna maximize out my federal unemployment. So it's gonna be 6%. For state, since I'm gonna say that I'm a new business, because that's what we're all sole proprietors. We're gonna be new, so I'm gonna automatically take 3%. Okay, for this class, FUTA is 6%, state SUTA is 3%. Okay, and it's going to be based off of the employees' total earnings that they've made. Okay, I don't have a calculation for some reason, but that is okay.
This is based on employees' total earnings, you said?
Exactly. So if, for example, for that L example, she claimed $686.25. You're going to use that number, and you're going to apply the 6%, and you're going to apply the 3% to figure out how much you need to contribute to. In case she loses her job, she can at least you're covering her for that. Now, a lot of people make this mistake, and this is where I was talking about. A lot of people, they always say this: I should claim unemployment because I paid into it. No, you did not. It did not come from your paycheck. Your employer paid for it. And if your employer did pay for it, because yes, you can bypass the federal unemployment tax. It's not recommended, but you can bypass it. So just because you worked at a company, that doesn't mean you paid into your federal unemployment, because you really didn't. The company paid in to protect you for in case you lose your job. But if the company did not pay for it, well, you cannot make that statement where you're saying I paid into it, because you really didn't. All you did was dedicated your time, but you did not actually pay something out of your paycheck for federal unemployment. Okay? So for all of y'all who said that for losing your jobs and saying I paid into it, no, you did not. The company did. Okay? Just a little FYI. All right. Other payroll tax and costs. Okay. So another one that we will be looking into will be going to be our workers' compensation. So again, what workers' compensation is pretty much the company's way to protect them from employees from suing in case they get injured on the job. Okay, so yes, there are many companies out there who don't pay into it because they think, this job, they're not going to get injured into it. But in case an employee decides to sue them, then they're going to be like, great. We might lose a lawsuit and have to pay like millions of dollars for this person. Okay, so this is why companies, they pay into a workers' compensation in case an employee does get hurt on the job. At least they're protected and they have money to protect them from any lawsuits that come their way. Okay? So and I have talked about this to students who actually are coming from workers' compensation. This is their way to protect them. Okay, so let's say, for example, for the students who are under the workers' compensation, they're actually getting paid by the company because they put money into it because they got injured in the job is saying, oh, instead of paying for your medical fees, we can pay you to get training so you can get a future job somewhere else. So that is what it is. It's basically a safeguard for all companies, and it should be something that all companies should look into. Okay? Other things are holiday pay, vacation pay, sick pay. All of those are going to be, again, deductions that come out of the company's paycheck, because if your employee is sick and I offered that, I have to pay for it, not the employee. Why would the employee pay for that? We have to pay for that. So, again, so all of those will apply. And again, some of these, yeah, so again, for retirement benefits, again, if you offer a 401k plan and you say you match them, you have to pay for it then. So that's why you have to be very careful on, or not very careful, but you have to know exactly what benefits and what deductions you offer for having employees, because it will also come out of your own pocket as well. Okay? So also paying for the insurance, right? You may pay 50-50 for their health insurance. So you want to be careful, not be careful. I keep saying careful. You want to make sure that you know and understand how much you're willing to pay to have employees. All right, now we're going to record the employer's taxes. So for the sake of this class, because again, all of those fringe benefits, all those deductions, so all of these things that we offered here is going to be based on the company. Now, again, we're not a company. We're just using these examples for what you can use to that you're going to end up paying for, okay, if you offer it. But in my perspective, again, I'm only going to focus and have you guys only understand that we need to pay for FICA. That's number one. We need to pay for FUTA, and we need to pay for SUTA. And I want to protect myself from lawsuits, so I'm going to pay into workers' comp. Any other benefit, I'm going to say I don't offer any benefits. So therefore, for the sake of this purpose of this class, these are mandated. They are required by some form of agency. These are mandatory that you have to pay first before calculating any benefits or deductions that you offered your employees. Okay, so for the sake of this class, I only want you to know FICA, FUTA, SUTA, and workers' comp. Okay, and workers' comp is going to be, I forgot to mention it, it's going to be 1.36%. Okay, 1.36%. Okay, so again, here you go. I put the example up here for another employee. Did I do another employee? No, I did the same one. L, she worked 45 hours at $15.25, so she claimed a total of $686.25. So here, you're going to take that amount and you're going to multiply it by every single category that you need to pay as part of your contribution to the government. So whatever you're required to pay for government taxes. So again, here I've already done the calculation for you. Give you an example. So all of this is going to be paid for having L to work as your employee. So in the end, I have to pay $120 for having her work at this company. And think about it. If for just one employee, that's only one employee. Think about it when you're a $1 billion company and you have 1 million employees. How much are you really paying the government? You're probably paying them trillions of dollars. Okay? Oops, sorry. Going back, okay? So, and then how we journalize it is going to be payroll tax expense, okay? And everything that you're going to claim is going to be considered a liability, okay? Because you're calculating it now, but you're not going to pay them right away. And this is where the next section is going to come into play. So again, we're making it as a liability because we're collecting the money now, but we're not going to pay the government just yet, okay? How we determine on when we have to pay these federal taxes, again, is going to be based on two factors: how many employees you have and how much money you actually owe them. And this is where you're going to use your W-2 form. Now, again, you can be obligated to be paid. You have to pay either weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, annually, even. Usually, it depends on the company. If it's a huge company, you're expected to have to pay every week. Reason being is if you're a $1 billion company, that's $1 trillion you can collect right then and there. So and especially the government, they're not going to let go of that money. So they're going to automatically charge the major corporations for this money as soon as they can. So this is why they have to pay every week. Now, if you're a smaller company, you're more likely to be able to get away with it every month, even quarterly even. So I've seen companies where they don't have to pay for the they don't have to pay their employee taxes until like after it's been like 3 months. So they can get away with it just because they're a smaller company, and you're not going to get much bang for your buck if you try to go after such a small amount of money. Okay? But however, if you do not pay on time, you will get fined for that. And every time you're late, the penalties get worse and worse and worse. And what happens with the penalties is if you fail to pay within the due date, your due date will go up. As in, like, if you have to pay every quarterly and you miss that payment and you're still not paying it on time, you can get easily bumped up to weekly because of that claiming. Yeah, if you fail to pay, you can you can get shortened and have to pay sooner. So you want to be very careful. Now your packet should actually give you more in-depth and detail with it, but if you actually look at the forms for the W-2 form, it's mandated that you should have it done by the beginning of the year. But again, it's going to be dependent on how many employees you have and how much you actually owe. So again, I don't want you to really completely know this. It's, because again, you're probably not going to be the one that's dealing with this. Your tax accountant is going to be dealing with this. Okay? So just understand that you depending on how large your company is, will determine how often you need to pay those liabilities back. All right. And course review. So we learned about employees, and we understand there's only two types of employees that are considered under your payroll, and that is common law, and that is your statutory employees. Everyone else are expenses, okay? Other things that we learned, that when we're dealing with employees, you have a few things that you need to look into. So you need to be able to calculate their income, their federal income tax withholdings, and their FICA tax. On the employer side, you need to consider FICA tax, FUTA, SUTA, and workers' comp, which down below, so federal income tax will be dependent on how much they make, and we're only using the percentage method, which uses the circular E table. Your FICA is going to be your Social Security, which is 6.2%, and your Medicare, which is 1.45%. Then your FUTA is going to be 6%, your SUTA is going to be 3%, and your workers' comp is 1.36%. All right? And then a few important forms that you need to have. Again, we talked about this. Number one is definitely going to be your W-2 and your W-4. Okay? And then lastly, if you want to know more, just go ahead and go to irs.gov/publication15, and you'll be able to find out all the details in that. So again, we looked at the percentage method, how to calculate it. So again, number one, you're going to calculate total earnings. Then you're going to calculate the total withholdings. Then 3, you're going to calculate your federal income tax using your circular e-table, which will give you the A, B, C, D, and E. Understand how to calculate that, and you will get how much federal income tax you're actually claiming. And then lastly, how to journalize this is going to be for the employee side. You're going to do salaries and wages expense and everything that you take out. And then for your employer, you're going to do payroll tax expense, and you're going to create all of these as liabilities. All right. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and look at our example real quick, and then we'll call it a day since it's 4 o'clock. Okay. So if everyone can take out their Chapter 12 payroll exercises. Okay. So here, I provided the table again, so you don't need to have the table with you on the side. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Bob is a married man with 3 dependents. So he's got 3 kids or whatever it is. Okay, he has filed separately. Okay, from his wife. Okay, but he earns $16.50 an hour, and he worked a total of 36 hours this week. The payroll period is weekly. So use the tables below to answer the following questions, okay? So, because here's the given thing. Even though he's married and he did not file together with his wife, again, that is an indicator of claiming another withholding. However, because he's married, you're still going to make sure that his status is married, not single, okay? Make sure you understand the difference, okay? He's still married, so therefore, he still needs to claim as a married individual, but he's filing separate from his wife, meaning he's not going to claim a withholding for filing together with his wife, because that's one of the things that you can claim. So in this case, we're going to look at the table, and it's going to be under the married table, okay? So let's check out. So let's go ahead and calculate how much his total earnings is. So what is his total earnings before we can figure out his federal income thing? So we know that I can't find it. There you go. So here we have how much did he work? All right, what is his wage? $16.50. So $16.50, all right?
So 36 hours a week is $5.94.
$5.94. Okay? Good. So this is his total earned income that he's accumulated, right? So now the second step is what? Second step is going to be calculating his total withholdings that he needs to deduct from his paycheck to get a gross pay. So how do we solve for that? Okay, so we need to use the information from table 5. Okay, so what is his payroll period? Weekly. Okay, so that means for every withholding that he has, it's going to be charged at $83. So right here, because he's weekly, so every withholding he claims, it's going to be for $83 each. So I'm going to write right here So, because he's weekly, he is going to get $83, okay? How many dependents did he claim? 3. Okay? Okay, so that's what's going to be on his W-4 form. So what is this amount? What is his total withholdings? Yes, 249 is correct. Okay? And we need to deduct that from his total earnings because this is how much he's going to claim from his check. So, gross earnings is going to be for how much?
345.
I'm sorry, not gross earnings. Yeah. So how much?
345.
345?
Yeah.
Even?
Yeah.
All right. Did everyone get that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So that means 345 is how much we can tax him for. So I think I think this is supposed to be taxable income. Okay? This is how much he is subject to be taxed for. So let's go ahead and look at the table. Next step is going to be step number 4, step number 4, which is to go to the circular E table. So here I've already pulled out the table, the weekly table, the married table, and let's see what number he falls into. So how much did he make after all the deductions? Did
Total for the whole month, you mean, or for just a week?
just for this is based on every paycheck.
On every paycheck, okay.
So okay, did he make more than $0?
Times 12. What was that amount? I got 1380 for gross for the,
345.
Andrea, what are you calculating?
well, if weekly, if he's making after his deductions, if he's got 345, and if you times that times 4 weeks in a month.
Andrea, this is calculated every paycheck. So because we're under weekly, this is how much we're charging him every week.
Right, for each paycheck. Okay.
Yes, for each paycheck. Yes.
Okay.
So far his taxable income, that means this is how much he's able to be taxed for, is a total of $345.
Okay.
Okay? So let's look at our table, our circular E table. Okay? Did he make more than $0?
Yes.
Did he make more than $229?
Yes.
But did he make more than $600?
No.
No. So this is the bracket that we're going to be falling into because he made more than 229, right? 345 is more than 229. Okay, so we're going to follow again. We have A and B are already locked in. So now let's go ahead. The government's going to claim us $0. Nice. However, they're going to charge us, they're going to collect 10% from us after calculating the total amount that the government lets us keep. So again, we're going to subtract E, multiply D, and add C. So in this case, we need to subtract 229. So here, our gross earnings is going to be $345. So, 345, okay, and we're going to subtract how much? What did the bracket say? What did the E say?
229.
229.
Yeah, 116 left.
Okay, good. Now the second step is we're going to take that 116 and we're going to multiply it by the percentage, which is how much percent?
10.
10%, which gives us how much?
$1,345.60.
Say that again. That does not sound right.
1345.60.
That is not 10% of 116.
You know, it's 1160.
Yes.
Yeah, I did it again. $1,345.60.
Are you multiplying by 10 or are you multiplying by 0.10?
10.
Okay.
0.10.
It's 0.10 because it's 10%.
Yeah, $1,345.60. I got it again. I took 116 times .10 and hit equal $1,345.60. Right?
No. Okay, it should be 116
116
116 times 0.1
.10 equals 1160.
Yep, 1160 is correct. Okay, so that's all his federal income tax withholdings because the next part is you need to add 0. If you add 0, you're still going to get $11.60. So that is his federal income tax withholdings. Okay? So here 1160 is his total federal income tax. All right? Oh, I can't. Oh, there you go. Oh, shoot. I think my screen's freezing. All right, so that's just one section. Now we need to calculate number 2. How do you calculate the Social Security and the Medicare based on Bob's earnings? So, how much did Bob earn?
Uh, uh, $356 or $58? Or I'm sorry, $994.
Excuse me, 594.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct. He earned a total of $594, okay? What is the Social Security rate? What is the rate that we charge for? Go ahead.
6%,
6 point.
wasn't it?
It's 6 point. There's more numbers after the 6.
Oh, okay. Um,
Oopsies. There you go. How much is Social Security?
6%.
6%.
Keep going. There's more.
6.75% or 6 point.
2.
6.2%. Yes. So therefore, it's going to be 0.062. Okay? And how much do we get when we calculate that?
34 point 38.
Say that again. So what was it?
34.038.
I think you still calculated 6%.
No, 6.2, right?
6.2.
549 times 6.2%. $34, point 038.
It's 394, not. I mean, it's 594, not 590. Not 549.
Okay, I got 36.883.
Yeah.
83.
That's what I've got.
36.83.
Perfect.
That's what I've got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. So that's how much Social Security he's contributing to. Okay?
3683.
Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna calculate our Medicare. What's the percentage for Medicare?
3%.
No, that's
Oh,
SUDA.
no, wait a minute. I'm thinking the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I gotta erase all this. Hang on. Okay, HI
Mm-hmm.
is 1 point something. What is it? 1 point, oh, 1.45.
Yes, 1.45 is correct. So that should be 0.0145.
Okay, so 8.613 or $8.61.
$8.61. Let's see. Let me double check that. Oopsies. 594. Yes, 8.61 is correct. So that's how much total insurance or Medicare that he's actually contributing to. So now let's go ahead and journalize this. So, what is my journal?
Bob met his weekly pay first.
Okay, but you can't write Bob weekly pay. What account do we use?
Checking.
Not checking. We didn't.
Payroll tax expense.
Not payroll tax expense. That's us paying taxes.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Okay.
payroll.
Not payroll.
So it's salaries and wages expense.
Correct. Salaries and wages expense because this is us paying our employee, right? So we need to have a salaries and wages expense. Okay? And for what total are we putting this whole entire thing? How much did Bob earn?
594.
Correct. Okay? Now what's the first thing that we calculated?
Social Security.
Okay, that's one of them.
Oh, the federal tax.
Yes, federal. I'm going to make it short. So, federal income tax withholdings. And let's go ahead and look at the top because, in case you don't remember, how much did we actually calculate for federal income tax withholdings?
11.60.
$11.60. That's correct. So that means $11.60 came out of his paycheck. Okay. What's the second thing that we calculated?
Security.
Huh?
Yeah, his social security.
Social Security, correct. Now you can
683.
okay. So you can put Social Security. You could put OASDI, whatever account that you use. It doesn't matter. They both mean the same thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just write OASDI just because it's shorter than writing Social Security. So OASDI, and how much did we calculate for that?
38, 3683.
Correct. And then lastly, Medicare. How much was our Medicare?
$861.
$8.61. So $8.61. So now what's the last thing I need to do?
Total.
Not total. What's the last thing I need to do?
Minus 11.
You gotta write the check.
You have to write the check. Of course, you have to pay the employee. You don't calculate this if you don't have intentions to pay, right? So you need to pay the employees. You need to write a check. Yes, it's going to come out of your bank. All right. How much is actually coming out of your bank?
Oh, well, the checking amount should be $536.96.
536.96. 96, okay? So if you calculate your 1160 and your 36.83 and your $8.61, you should get $57.04. Now you can also take the total amount and just subtract those numbers. And as you can see, he's not going to claim all $594. We're writing him a check because he has to pay taxes. So therefore, he is only receiving a total of $534.96. Jeez, I can't even talk. Okay, so now that the employer is done, the employee's done, what do we have to claim now?
The employer.
We have to write our taxes for his earnings. So again, number 4 is what is the company FICA that we need to pay for Bob?
It's the same amount we did for, because we're matching, right?
Yes,
100%
we're
match.
matching him 100%. So let's see.
That would be 6%.
6 point. There's more than 6 point.
Oh, 6.2.
6.2%. So let's see. He earned a total of $594. Okay. And we're going to multiply it by Social Security, which is 6.2%. And then what else? We also have to do we have to also do Medicare. So here we know that it was $36.83. And we know that Medicare is $594 times 0.0145, which equals, what was it, $8.61? Okay, so let's add those two together. What is 36.83 plus our $8.61?
45.44.
45.44 is our total contribution that we need to pay into Bob's Social Security and Medicare. Okay? So next is going to be for the federal unemployment tax, okay, based on Bob's earnings. So if he earned $594, how much FUTA are we going to pay for him?
I forgot what the percentage
Oh,
was.
6%?
What, was it 6%? Is
16%,
that where I keep
yeah.
getting 6%?
Yes, good. It's 6%.
So it is, it's
I was
6%.
afraid to say 6% again. All right, so that's 35.64.
um,
I know that 6% have to be right one of the times, but
yes, 30.
somewhere.
Yes, so $35.64 is correct. All right. Now we have to calculate state federal unemployment tax, which is what? Per,
3%.
this is 3%. Yes, good. So this is 3%, which is what?
1782.
$17.82. Okay. And then lastly, we need to solve for workers' comp. So what is workers' comp going to be? What's the percentage for workers' comp?
3?
Not 3. 1.36%. Oopsies. 1.36%.
$9.68.
No, I got 8.08.
8.
8.08 is what I have.
8. Yes, that's correct. 808. Okay. So now that we calculated all 4 of those things, now how are we going to journalize this? Hold on. I just realized my table is off. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and push this forward to the next page. Just so that we can. Oh, wait, wrong one. Off to the next page. Okay, so now that I solved for all of those things, how do I journalize this?
This is going to be payroll tax.
This is going to be payroll tax expense. Yes, because this is how, because we are paying it, yes. Okay, so what's the first thing that I solved for?
Social Security.
Okay, and then but this one we call this company FICA. Okay, because company FICA payable.
Okay. Okay.
So how much total company FICA are we claiming, or are we have to pay for having Bob?
45.44.
$45.44. So let me see, $45.44. Okay. What's the second thing that we solved for?
Social Security?
Not Social Security.
Unemployment tax.
Which one?
Federal.
Federal. Good. FUTA. FUTA for short. Okay, so $35.64 is our total here. FUTA payable for $35. Shoot, I forgot how much cents. $35 and 64 cents. Okay?
35.64.
35.64. All right. What's the third thing we solved for?
State federal unemployment tax.
Yes, SUTA we call it, or SUI if you are using state, Nevada State.
And that's 1782.
1782. Good. And then lastly, what's the last thing that we solved for?
Workers' compensation.
Workers' comp. Okay, so workers' comp. For how much?
$8.08.
808. Okay, so how much in total taxes do we need to pay for having Bob as an employee?
So at 106,
107. Oh, I got 107.18. Did I?
106.98, but I may have
Okay,
hit the
well,
wrong,
I
I may have hit the wrong key.
106.98?
I'll do it again.
All right.
Um, no, I got 106.98 this time.
106.98, that's what I got.
Okay, 106, 106.98 is correct. Okay,
106.98.
so that's all you need to do. Okay, so we calculated Bob's taxes, and this is how much he's getting out of the paycheck. We've also calculated how much taxes we have to pay for having Bob as an employee. Okay, so in grand total, we spent whatever, so roughly 600 plus 100, $700 just for having him as an employee. Yeah, ouch. Okay, so right now it is 4:35. Tell me what you guys want to do, because I do have another example just so we can keep practicing. It's either we could save this for tomorrow and just work on it and then dive straight into Coffee Cafe, or we can push through and work on it today. So then tomorrow we just go straight into Coffee Cafe. What do you guys want to do? There's only one more example after this.
Okay. One more.
One more. Yeah, you want to push through and answer it, or you want to just wait till tomorrow?
I'm good, whatever everybody else wants to do.
We could go for, do it, it's okay.
Let's just finish it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
Okay, so second example is going to be for the employee. Here we have Suzanne. Oh, Susan. Susan is a single woman with 0 withholdings. Okay, she earns $25 an hour, and I wrote she. She worked a total of 80 hours this pay period. Okay. So the pay period is going to be bi-weekly. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is going to be an easy one. Okay, so here I have the bi-weekly single table here. And so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start off with how much she actually made. How much did she make? So she earns $25 an hour, and she worked a total of 80 hours.
80 hours, that's $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, 80 hours.
You divide that in half, you got, 1,000.
Why do you need to divide in half?
Bi-weekly.
No, that's 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so every payment table, we have its separate payroll period. There's no extra calculation you need to do. You don't need to figure out how much it is for every month. You don't need to, this is every paycheck per paycheck basis. So all of this, if it's a bi-weekly table, we get the bi-weekly table. If it's a weekly table, we take the weekly table. If they get paid every month, we have to use the monthly table. Okay? This is based on every single paycheck. So this is exactly why this is the most complicated part, because you have to know which table you're looking at. You have to know the marital status that the person is, and you need to know how much they actually earned. Okay? So in this case, yes, she earned $25 at 80 hours this payroll period. So she earned a total of, you say 2,000?
2,000.
Okay, $2,000. Okay. Now the next one is to calculate what? What do we need to deduct from this in order to get our gross pay?
Okay, we need her, instead of income withholding
Which
is,
what does the scenario say?
yeah, but,
minus the amount in excess, right?
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay, I'm skipping ahead, okay.
How many withhold? Let's read the scenario. She's a single woman with 0 withholdings.
right,
So how many deductions can we take from her?
None.
Nothing. Therefore,
not withholding anything.
she's not withholding anything. So therefore, her amount that she can be taxed at is $2,000 straight up.
So 2,000, the whole amount, right,
Yes, because she claimed nothing. So there's nothing to withhold.
right.
So therefore, there's no need for table 5 because she's not claiming any withholdings. So therefore, $2,000 is where we're going to start off with. So let's go ahead and use our circular E table above to solve for what bracket she belongs to. Okay, so again, bi-weekly, she's a single woman. So let's go through this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip forward. See, did she make more than $1,600?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, but did she make more than $3,400?
no,
No, so this is the bracket that we're belonging to. So we need to take out a total of 177 from the government, and we're gonna tax her at 22% on excess, and we're gonna let her keep $1,689. So thank you, government, for understanding. So let's go ahead and take these numbers and let's solve for it. So again, we have $2,000. Okay. So what are we gonna do?
minus 177,
No. That's how much that's how much the government's gonna take from our paycheck regardless.
oh, okay,
Remember, it's going to go E times D plus C.
oh, wait, E times D,
You're gonna start from E, right? So you're gonna subtract E, then you're gonna multiply D, then you're gonna add C. So how much is the federal government letting us keep?
1688.
1689.
89.
Okay. So how much is that?
311.
311. Okay, so that's how much money that's how much excess money that we have.
So 311 multiplied by 22%.
Yes, 311 multiplied by 22%. So 0.22, oopsies, 0.22 is going to give you how much?
6842.
6842.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to add the 177?
And we're going to add, exactly, and we're going to add, what was it, 177.56 to get a grand total of how much tax are we taking out of her paycheck from the government.
4589?
Say that again.
24589?
I got 245.98.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, the numbers were there. I just got backwards.
98. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is how much tax that we're going to take out of her paycheck for the federal income tax. So that's a lot. But she made $2,000. Okay? And because she stated no claimings, she gets the highest bracket. Okay? All right. So here, $245.98. All right. So let's go ahead and calculate her total her total Social Security and her total Medicare. So we know she made a total of $2,000. What percentage is Social Security?
6.2.
6.2. Oopsies. 6.2. Okay. So how much Social Security is she taking out?
$124?
$124. Okay. And then how much Medicare are we taking out of her paycheck? Oh wait, how much is social? First, how much is Medicare? What percentage is it?
3.
Not 3.
0.0145?
Yes.
I knew it
Okay,
had to be one of them.
I got $29.
Perfect. Okay. Good. All right, and that is all that we are learning for this section. So let's go ahead and journalize it. So what is my journal entry? What expense am I going to be creating?
This is salaries and wages expense.
Exactly, because this is what this is how much she worked.
Right.
Okay, so salaries and wages expense. Okay. What's the first tax that we're going to take out of her paycheck? For what total amount?
2,000.
2,000.
Good. So, okay. What is the first thing that we calculated? Federal income tax withholdings, which how much did she claim or how much did she get charged for?
124.
245.
Was that true?
245.98. So here 245.98. Okay. What was the second thing that we calculated?
Social Security.
Yes, OASDI. For how much?
124.
For 124. All right. And then lastly, how much is Medicare?
$29.
HI for $29. Okay? $29. All right. Lastly, how much is the check going to be written out to her?
Well, that's not bad.
$1,602.
Oh,
$1,602.
1,600. Oopsies. $602 or 2 cents?
I got 1602.
$2.
Even
Yeah,
should not be
Not
right.
Right.
Yeah.
I got,
That can't be right. Hang on. 2,000.
yeah, I think it is 1602 even.
Well, how can that be? We got 98 cents in the withholding. $0.98.
$1,601.
Yes, 1,102 cents. Anybody else get that number?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Okay. So that is how much her paycheck's going to be. So she just lost almost $400 due to federal income tax, or just for all the taxes. See?
She needs a new job now.
Well,
A nice tax return probably coming back.
Yeah,
it
she'll probably get some refund.
yeah, she'll
Yeah,
probably get some refund.
definitely,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
She
Okay.
has 0 withheld, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so good. Now let's go ahead and calculate her total.
It's still a lot, though.
It is a lot, and like I said, like again, like there's a lot of people out there who work and make $5,000. There, guess how much they take out of their paycheck? Almost $1,000 just to all those things. Plus, if they have benefits and deductions, oh, it's even more money coming out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and solve for the company FICA. So 2,000. Now, what you can do is you can just add the Social Security and the Medicare together to get 7.65. Okay, and that should just get you the same exact equal of 124 plus 29. Yes, 124. Wait, was it? When did you say 153?
153.
All right, so that's 124, which is the same thing as equaling to 124 plus the 29, which should just give you 153. Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, how much is the federal unemployment? What's the percentage?
6%.
6%, which is
120.
120. All right, and then lastly, not lastly, shoot, this is one more before the last one. Then we're going to claim state. I don't know why I wrote state federal
3%,
unemployment.
that would be half of what we just did, so $60.
Good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write that out, though, just in case, which is $60. Okay, good. And then lastly, what is workers' comp?
Point one, what is it, 1, 4,
Not 4,
4, 5?
not 5. Lower. 3.6.
Oh, 3, 6.
Okay, which equals what?
136. It's $27.20.
You need $27.27. Now, let's go ahead and journalize what we need to journalize. So, what is my expense account that I'm going to be incurring?
This is going to be payroll tax expense.
Payroll tax expense. And what's the first thing we calculated?
FICA.
Yeah, company FICA payable. Okay, which was for how much?
153.
153. All right, how much FUTA did we have to pay?
120.
120.
We have to pay 120. Oopsies. And how much SUTA do we need to pay?
60.
SUTA payable. For $60. Oopsies, paid.
Workers' comp is 2720.
And workers' comp. For how much? 27 and $20. So that gives us a grand total of how much tax?
$360.20.
$360.20. So just for having Susan as an employee, we need to pay a grand total of $2,360. Okay, so forever how long she keeps working, we got to pay the price of paying off for her taxes as well. So good job, everybody. That is exactly how you calculate payroll taxes manually. Okay, so believe it or not, there are people out there, okay, who don't want to do this.
You don't know this.
No, they do know this. They just don't want to do it.